Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the weekly MMA Cycles Market Update. This is Gianni DePocia, your host. It's great to be back with you. I'm actually coming from the ESAR Conference, the International Society for Astrological Research Conference in Denver, Colorado. We are here this weekend, to share our research with attendees on financial markets and their correlation to geocosmic signatures and aspects. And needless to say, the timing couldn't be better because we've seen some pretty intense volatility during these Uranus aspects. So without further ado, let me go ahead and share my screen so we can look at what happened this week in markets. We had some pretty important economic data come out on Friday. Looking at a daily chart of the Dow Jones, we see how we started off the week on a defensive note, rallied up to a high. We made a new weekly high, or a new multi-day high on Friday, rather, before being slammed back lower into the close. So these wide fluctuations in prices are typical of Uranus signatures. So we had Uranus go retrograde on the 24th of August, a couple days earlier this week. And we mentioned in last week's video as well that Mars ingressing into Gemini would likely lead to an increase in volatility because Mars is very energetic and aggressive, and Gemini is a trading sign. So we saw that unfold on Friday after CPI numbers came in, still at elevated levels above 6% year over year. But Fed Chair Powell spoke and said that the Fed has no intention of slowing their pace of rate hikes just yet. They want to make sure that the inflation beast is tamed adequately. So that sent markets spiraling lower. Again, Uranus reactions. One would have thought that the lower inflation numbers would have led the Fed to perhaps lay off the brakes a little bit, but that was the Uranus surprise. It was Fed Chair Powell basically saying, no, contrary to what you might believe, we're going to stay hawkish and more aggressive with our rate hikes. So looking forward into this weekend, we have some notable signatures again between Uranus. We're going to have Venus square Uranus on the 27th of August, and then we're going to have Venus oppose Saturn on the following day, the 28th. So very interesting signatures there. And, don't be surprised in this typical Uranian fashion if we, see another reversal. We don't know if we, maybe get a little bit of a relief rally and surge back lower and then form a low there. Time will tell. But we did see the NASDAQ lead the market lower, which is typical. Uranus rules this index because it is tech-based and Uranus rules tech. So we saw the NASDAQ leading the market lower, which is a bit of a concern in terms of, the bullish outlook. But still some key technical levels we're watching, talking about those key technical levels in the daily and weekly MMA reports. Go ahead and check those out if you are so inclined. Let's take a look at interest rates because we see that they've held up pretty nicely despite the lower CPI numbers that came in. It seems like the bond market is still taking Powell's threat of raising interest rates more aggressively pretty seriously at this point. So interest rates were a little bit higher on the week, but now as we look at crude oil, we're actually going to look at the USO ETF. This is actually an ETF that's covered in our monthly MMA ETF report, which had its inaugural edition a couple of weeks ago. So would recommend that you check that out. USO rallied to a new high, pulled back a little bit into Friday. We were actually down for most of the day, but staged a nice rally here. And, we're basically coiling under key technical resistance. So we'll see if we can get any big moves in the energy market in the next week or so. I also want to look at the U.S. dollar because the U.S. dollar also exhibited some wide volatility on Friday. Initially, it surged lower, but then reversed and closed up nicely on the day. The data isn't updated quite yet on this chart, but the dollar did close out near the highs of the week. And that comes off the carry trade and the whole concept that interest rates remain higher in the United States compared to other foreign developed nations. But like we mentioned a little bit ago, don't be surprised if we see another potential reversal with the upcoming Uranus square or Venus square Uranus, that is, over the weekend. So expect the volatility to persist into next week. And the last chart that I wanted to look at, maybe we'll be able to squeeze one more in, is the Bitcoin chart. We knew that this was going to be a highlighted market with the Venus and Uranus aspects as well. Keep in mind that Uranus went retrograde in the sign of Taurus, and Taurus rules currencies, and Bitcoin is essentially a currency of some form, a security, definitely a financial security. But we saw a Bitcoin hit a new high. Let's see, did we actually make a new high on the 24th? 21,879. Yeah, so the high was actually on the day that Uranus went retrograde. It was slightly higher than the high that formed on Friday. But prices are down, making new lows for the week, not looking all that strong for Bitcoin. And if you want to know how we're playing this space, I encourage you to check out our MMA crypto reports because we've been all over this decline in crypto, and needless to say, there are some key developments coming in this space. So be on the lookout for some key breaks of support or resistance in the crypto market in the next couple of days, again, with the Venus and Uranus aspects. So that pretty much takes care of what I wanted to review with you today. Thank you so much for watching. And again, I encourage you to check out the details of the MMA investment retreat that's set to be held in Troy, Michigan between the 9th and the 11th of September. Details can be found at www.mmacycles.com. That's all for now. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.